This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. In other crime news, police are also seeking the public's assistance in identifying and locating the occupants of a dark purple Nissan Note, license plate number unknown, who they believe are responsible for the attempted murder of a man on Tuesday. Police say their initial reports reveal that a male suffering from first-degree burns was taken to a local clinic in the Carmichael Road area after the occupants of this purple vehicle threw gasoline on him and set him ablaze before fleeing in an unknown direction. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact your nearest police station or 328-TIPS. A 21-year-old male is now in police custody after officers thwarted an alleged armed robbery of a man and woman in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Police reports indicating that shortly after 12 midnight, a male and female were sitting in their vehicle in the parking lot of a local beach in western New Providence when two male occupants of a gold-colored Honda Accord license plate number AE1202 pulled a black handgun on them, attempting to rob them. Officers were on mobile patrol at the time, making routine checks in the area. The suspects saw the officers and attempted to flee towards the beach. One of the suspects attempted to evade police by jumping into the waters. He was arrested a short time later. Police are on the hunt for the second suspect in this incident, who was able to make good his escape on foot. As the police continue their work to get illegal weapons off the streets, the magistrate court was busy on Monday with at least 6 young men appearing in court on charges of possession of illegal firearms and ammunition. They included Curry S. Steves, Martin Tilney, Gino Higgs, Javarius Paul Saint, and Eugene Campbell, who in addition to being charged with possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition, was also charged with the intent to supply unlicensed firearms and ammunition. All of the men were not required to enter a plea and were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until they returned to court for their trial. Meanwhile, police said recently that the number of armed robberies are up in the country. On Monday, Andre Lightbourne and Luther Delancey appeared together before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shubasola Swain, charged with the armed robbery of Sharika Gibson. Particular are that on Friday, July 15th, armed with a handgun, the two men robbed Miss Gibson of her brown Nissan Cube, valued at $5,500, along with $48 in cash and other personal items. The two men were not required to enter a plea and can apply for bail in the Supreme Court. They were both remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections and are expected to return to court for trial on November 24th. The $40 million debt owed to the Water and Sewage Corporations, or WSC's major reverse osmosis suppliers since Hurricane Dorian struck the northern Bahamas in 2019, is being paid down, according to WSC Executive Chairman Sylvanus Petty. During the budget debate in June, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Public Works and Utilities, Bacchus Roll, told the parliamentarians that the Water and Sewage Corporation had not been keeping up with outstanding payment arrears due to vendors and suppliers. At the time, Mr. Roll said the challenges resulted from the absence of an executive manager for internal control since 2019 and no executive manager since 2020.
Well, it's being paid down significantly. I think we are in arrears only about $13 million. So we've made great strides in paying our bills.
The corporation also giving an update on the $50 million owed to them by some 45,625 customers who are behind on their payments. Acting Chief Financial Officer Patrice Monroe says since disconnections resumed on March 28 of this year, many payments have been made to the Water and Sewage Corporation, and the debt has been reduced by some $2 million.
During the COVID period, we had a number of customers that were not paying their water bills. Water and Sewage was given a mandate because of the essential need for potable water, not to disconnect. That was lifted, and so now we can't disconnect, and we see more customers coming in and making payments on their accounts. Our current receivables is around 48 million. It has been reduced since COVID. It has been reduced. Customers are paying, and we are reaching out to them to encourage them to come in and pay their bills.
Meanwhile, Mr. Petty says they are softly carrying out disconnections to those who are not making payments, but they are working with those individuals. With schools set to reopen in a matter of days and following nearly 2 years of virtual and hybrid learning, students are set to return to the classroom. Add to that, the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training is bringing on a new stream of teachers. Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin telling reporters that her ministry is seeking to address the shortage of teachers in the country, noting that a hiring process is well underway for teachers on the Family Islands.
Yes, we're hiring many teachers in this upcoming season. So the hiring is well underway. We're seeking to address shortages in critical areas in the core subjects. It's a challenge, the teacher shortages globally. So the Bahamas will not be excluded from that. We are subject to the same challenges as nurses. There's a shortage of nurses in the world and in our own country. And so, we're trying our utmost to actively and proactively recruit teachers to take office in the ensuing days, weeks, and months ahead.
Following the effects of the Hurricane Dorian, and the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns, which left many students disenfranchised without proper education, a commission has been formed to review the current high school diploma and recommended improvements. This according to Minister Hannah Martin.
A commission has been formed comprising public and private sector individuals. It is chaired by former Acting Director of Education, now retired, Cecil Thompson of Grand Bahama, and their work is to begin next week. And the purpose is to review the diploma, the relevancy of the criteria, and to deal with anomalies that have been reported to us and people have complained about and which seem self-evident. And so we would like to hear their recommendations about how we can improve it so that it more accurately reflects student attainment.
Hannah Martin did not give any figure as to the exact shortage of teachers, but admits the number is significant. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.